Good evening from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, Marilyn and I report on AI, mind control, and public opinion. But first, joining Targeted Massachusetts is free. Just go to targetedmassachusetts.org, and that is best on your computer. And at the top of the page, go to Join TM. Please complete the easy registration form. By joining, you receive our newsletter, text updates, and the latest developments in our targeted situation. If you have any questions, call me in the U.S. anytime at 1-508-857-8334. Call into the show live and ask a question or get involved at 800-313-9443 or listen at 605-313-0163. We have a brand new chat associated with the show, and you can dial in at 470-705-3727, and the PIN is 782-694-118. And that's a chat, by the way. And once again, the number is 470-705-3727. And the PIN, 782-694-118. And you can join a chat, and I will answer you, and perhaps you'll have a question to forward to myself and Marilyn. Okay, Marilyn, I've come up with the idea that artificial intelligence is controlling part of this. Now, I noticed earlier that you mentioned that they had a headset on. I tend to agree with that. Headset touching particular points on the skull to communicate. Is that what you meant?
I'm not sure that I could have been someone else that said that, but I think that that's an image that they want to sell to the population so that they don't feel like their minds can be read without the device. I believe they do have that device, and it's a military-grade weapon. And they disguise it. But the people communicating to us, I don't think that they wear a headset. I couldn't really prove it. I don't have a headset on. I'm not sure about that, but
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think they have very much the same as what children are using today to control games with their minds. We have a caller, Marilyn, and this is Richard from North Carolina. Welcome to the show, Richard. And we're sorry about last night. Missed you totally. I think it was last night.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you guys had a lot of stuff to go over. Midge is always full of good information, and I know you've been trying to get Richard on for a little bit, so I just figured I'd hold off and wait. Understand you guys are talking about the mind control. Of course, I can go on for a long time with that, but I promise I won't. I'll just simply say that the targeting that is happening to targeted individuals, somewhere along the way we have to come to the realization of the fact that most of what they're capable and able to do to us is the beginning of the mind control, because without the mind control, all the drugs and the chemicals and the tampering and investigating or experimenting simply can't be done. We would have memory of what was happening to us, and in a lot of the cases we do not. We get bits and pieces. We know something went on. We're not sure how or what. A lot of it is physical contact. Some of it is not. But I assure you, in the beginning, if you research MK Ultra, even back in the late 50s and even further back into Germany, you'll find that all of this has to be set up by the use of drugs and chemicals and electronics now. But it can't simply be done by mashing a button. And thank you.
Thank you, Richard. As usual, you bring with you a lot of great information, and Marilyn does the same. And it's because we are all exposed to this. So we are first-hand informers on what's going on. And the mind-reading part of this, right now they are actually playing mind games with me, and I find it disgusting, distasteful. They're trying to insert sentences or words, ideas, thoughts. But what I've learned from them is they actually have a positive and a negative switch. If they want you to think a positive thought, they will push it to the positive side. And likewise for negative. So these are some of the things that I have learned over the years, and I can feel when there is one of these coming, and I just blow it off. That's what I do. But, some days, if you haven't had any sleep, that's the key. If you haven't had any sleep, you are in trouble, deep. And I think Marilyn and Richard will agree with me. Go ahead, guys.
All right, Susie, I wanted to say real quick that I had been thinking about Elon Musk, and you know who Elon Musk, and you should know who he is. He helped to invent a horrible invention, Neuralink.
Yes.
His Neuralink company had planned to allow the human brain to be directly connected to a computer so as to allow the human to control the computer. The idea is to help those people that he classified as patients. So this is how they disguise it. They say, we're going to use AI mind reading to help paralyzed people speak. No, they're guinea pigs. And, of course, they would love something like that. These are naive people who are vulnerable and handicapped. And you're gonna try to fix their world, but you're not telling the full truth. That you're doing it to people that are fully athletic and standing and self-sufficient, who take care of themselves, and you have hooked us up to a computer. And so I just wanted to remind everybody about Neuralink, Elon Musk. You can look that up, and he created this really cool car that is electric. They also have an AI-powered mind-reading device that can construct your face and your body by simply asking you about your body and your face. And and this article is in nerdist.com, the science text section. Matthew Hart did this article. And he starts off saying, prepare your tinfoil hats, everyone, because the company in Russia is developing an AI-powered mind-reading device that can assemble an image of what a person is looking at solely based on their brain waves. So that's kind of like the holograms that TIs will see. We're constantly bombarded with microwave holograms We can see the thoughts of the people torturing us, and they can see our thoughts. They create dreams to torture us. They are looking through our eyes. They can see exactly what we're looking at. They can feel our feelings. They can smell what we smell. So we need to do something to stop this. This is actually more devastating than the coronavirus. I think the coronavirus is a biological weapon to get everyone hooked up brain to brain, and staying home, being isolated, paranoid and full of fear of these are the same characteristics that TIs end up living for years. We live like this most of our life. It's like having the coronavirus. So I would say that there's probably going to be a lot of people picked out of the population on the planet, and they're going to be targeted, and the AI will just it's fully going to take over.
Okay. I'd just like to interject something here. I've learned very recently of a new way of looking at AI. Instead of looking at an acre or 10 acres of mainframes that equal AI, the concept that I have just researched states that AI is everywhere and nowhere. And the reasoning behind this is AI is using the World Wide Web. And where it's needed, it goes. And it might nest in a site in Europe. If it's no longer needed greatly at that site, it stays idle until it is. Idle performing its daily tasks, obviously. What do you think about that, Richard? You still with us?
Yes, sir. I think that you're actually on the money there because, well, it has an attachment to our existence. Without our existence, it has no attachment. And the need of our everyday functions is being interrupted. So the only way it could possibly do any control of the mind is to be where it's needed to be at a particular time and place. So that makes complete sense. As far as the sleep deprivation you were speaking of, that's a big, full-size beginning of what happens to people, although I assure you, and you can do research, and I'm sure you have, that there's no way that you can have this happen overnight. It has to take a lot of experimentation. If you invent a car that would run totally off of your mind, your thoughts, your vision, your reflexes, and you call in that car to drive the car with your mind, then there's going to be glitches if different people drive those cars. So something would have to step in to correct and take that over and rearrange it all through some experimentation, of course, before it would be able to come to the exact point to where, okay, well, anybody can drive this car now. They've all been experimented with. All the cars, computers have been artificially intelligized, and now it works. But it takes time to do all of this. You've got to understand that this just doesn't happen overnight. And well, just like the gentleman that was speaking before your call tonight, he was looking for exact answers to pertain to how they're doing it and what they're doing and what's going on with this corona. And I think the biggest thing he brought out on the conversation is the fact that all of this is connected in some way to TIs, pertaining to the fact that these ventilators are missing. Okay, we got a shortage of ventilators. That means the ventilators, they were there. Why are they not there now? Why are they all of a sudden shutting down plants and factories to redo this shortage problem when there shouldn't have been a shortage to begin with? I'm going to tell you why. It's because they've already been used. And they've been doing this to people for a long, long time. And back to the mind control thing, we're not aware as much as we think we are of exactly what's going on. The AI is coming. It's real. And what it's capable of is beyond, well, even if you had a puppy and you grew up with this puppy and you carried out hunting and you go fishing and you go swimming and playing ball, this puppy gets to a point to where it knows everything you're thinking, every move you make. If you're going to chase the rabbit, he knows it before you know it. So it's not really it's just being replaced by a computer, but it's all connected to our third eye, our subconscious, our actual being of who we really are. But again, you can't do this overnight. It takes years. Some TIs talk of 30, 40, 50 years, or generational targeting. I would like to suggest it's not just about targeting. It's about setting up a system. The coronavirus is simply a part of this system, a way to set up this system. The man also said that a COVID-19 list, surveillance list, if you went in with any kind of lung thing or issues with your respiratory, then you were put on a list. And if it was cancer or COPD or whatever it was, asthma, then you were put on a list for COVID-19 way back. And so now we've got a new list, and this guy is accurate. He's on the money with all of this. I would love to have a direct personal conversation with this gentleman because he's looking for answers that we have. He's looking for answers that TIs have and know about. And the computers, the AIs, are being filled with everything way before we're piecing it together, and that's how it's able to stay ahead of us.
Hey, Richard, I wanted to say real quick about COVID-19. Dr. Larry Brilliant, I think he's a epidemiologist. He helped to eradicate smallpox.
Marilyn,
he said that the vaccine could take up to 12 to 18 months.
We have a commercial coming up. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Richard, and thank you, Marilyn Page.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge 20, 30, 40, 50, if possible, 100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, the number 2, keep it today.
Good evening from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, Marilyn Page and I report on AI, mind control, and public opinion. You can call into the show live and ask a question. Get involved at 800-313-9443 or listen at 605-313-0163. Now, I think I would like to get to public opinion this time. Oh, but first, let me just add this. We have a new chat associated with the show, and you can reach it at 470-705-3727, and the PIN is 782-694-118 pound. But you would have to disconnect from here. So use your computer and go to meet.google.com/YTZ-RECO-BIA. Public opinion in the past of targeted individuals has been very low. We have been called crazy, lunatics, members of the tinfoil hat club. We've been thrown into institutions. We've been thrown in jails. We've been stepped on. All of our rights have been stepped on for years and years. Now, with shows like this one and conference calls, Our word is getting out finally. And public opinion is starting to look much better. What do you think about that, guys? Marilyn?
I think, the general attitudes toward AI, governance, AI.github.io, more American support than oppose developing AI. And just a quick definition, artificial intelligence refers to computer systems that perform tasks or make decisions that usually require human intelligence. AI can perform these tasks or make these decisions without explicit human instruction. Today, AI has been used in the following applications, 5 randomly selected applications. So one of which is to help people who are paralyzed. So how many people support the developing of AI? So in this, on this website, part 2, support for developing AI is greater among those who are wealthy, educated, male, or have experience with technology. And that would make sense. But part 2.3 in this document, it says an overwhelming majority of Americans think that AI and robots should be carefully managed. Now, managed does not mean to stop it. I think a normal response would be fear. That would be normal, I think. What do you think?
A great deal of fear because of Hollywood. But I think that we should also look at this. AI is going to put all citizens on their butts sitting in a chair doing nothing. Because AI will take over everything. Right now, there are millions and millions and millions of Americans who have been put out of work by artificial intelligence. Firstly, the United Auto Workers Union. Thousands of men have been laid off because of mechanical, computer-controlled machines that do the work that they used to. Go ahead, Marilyn.
Well, the job market it's an odd thing, and people not working. Yeah, I don't know how agitated they're going to get. They're probably going to get it may get much worse. And then AI will make decisions.
We have another commercial to go to. We'll be back in a few. Thank you so much for listening.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
What would you say if I told you we have a new tool that will increase production and lower maintenance costs for your meat processing company? And it would pay for itself in just 6 weeks.
When pigs fly!
The new Ease-Off Model Easy 4 replaces old spring-style carcass droppers and is faster, safer, and more reliable. The Ease-Off lowers or lifts 1,000 pounds to or from your rail automatically using our remote control.
Sounds expensive. Can I afford it?
Can you afford not to try the Ease-Off? It installs fast with just 3 bolts in place of your current dropper. The effortless operation will reduce fatigue and injuries, speed up your line, eliminate downtime, and increase profit.
How can I order my Ease-Off?
Go to easeoff.com, EAZEOFF.com, and hurry, because we are offering $200 off on the new Easy 4 for a limited time. Easeoff.com. We make pigs fly. Cows, too. Ease-Off LLC, Summersville, Missouri, 417-932-6419.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. September 2018. Extendivite works in keeping my blood pressure in the normal range. I've been using Extendivite for many years now. May 2018. Great product. I use regularly and I rarely get sick. March 2018. This product has relieved what appeared to be angina pain in my chest and shortness of breath after climbing stairs. I'm quite happy about it. February 2018. My husband, son, and I have been using this product for a few months now, and we have noticed an improvement in our joints and blood pressure. Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we have been building our online store. Well, we have been focusing on bringing you the best talk show host in the country. Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we also want our listeners to have products they can use every day and in times of emergency. We have added new products each week to our store. Your support of this network, plus products at the best prices, is a win-win situation. Check out our new store. Go to our website, republicbroadcasting.org, and click on the online store located at the top of our website. Together, we can continue to grow RBN and help our listeners prepare for the future. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and click on our online store or call us.
800-724-2719, extension 3. 800-724-2719, extension 3.
Good evening, once again from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, Marilyn Page and myself have been reporting on AI, mind control, and public opinion. If you'd like to call into the show and ask a question or get involved, you can do that by calling 800-313-9443, or you can listen at 605-313-0163. And we have been talking about public opinion of the targeted individual. And at this point in time, we are starting to get recognition. Just starting, the tip of the iceberg. But the iceberg is coming up very, very fast. The technology has been exposed. We have been exploring nanotechnology, and we will continue to do so until we have all of the details. But public opinion is what we seek. And public opinion is only brought by telling the truth. And here at Republic Broadcasting, we can tell the truth. And I'm sure the other hosts will agree. It's a very great place to broadcast from. And Marilyn, what do you think about public opinion of yourself? What's your personal experience of public opinion when someone finds out you're TI?
Okay. People are very calm, and they're nice pretty much, even when they say, I don't believe you. So they try, this is the son of a nice person, they try to relate it to something they know, which is normal. And that always makes me feel really good. So let's say, oh, do you mean it's like this or like that? One really good example, I went to the place where people get their bus, public transit, and I passed out flyers. I told people, take this flyer, please, go home, research it. And I tried to pass them out really fast. And the person that owned the store, that he worked in the store that served sodas and things in the community space for this public transit, he was from India, I think, or Arab. And he says, oh, I'm a computer programmer. Let's talk about it. And I was like, oh, great. Let's talk about it. And he's like, well, tell me how you think it works. Is this true? And I totally believe it's true. He's like, I've never heard of this. I'm a computer programmer, and I'm not saying that you're lying. I just don't, I don't have any evidence to say that this is true. And he said that he would go and study it, and he told me to come back. I went over by University of Dayton, Ohio, did the same thing, passed out the flyers to all the businesses. The young man said, tell me about it. Let's talk about it. And that's common in my area. Some people have told me they believe me. There's just nothing that they can't, I think the American population is much nicer than we think. We have a psychopathic community that's going to do harm to us in the country. I think it's a lot smaller than we think. So that's kind of the attitude I've gotten.
Right. In my family, I have been met with great criticism. And one of the questions my brother asked me was, why did they pick you? And the question is, well, you graduated from MIT. You worked behind locked doors on the Polaris missile system, specifically the guidance system. So this may be one of the reasons, and I carried on. And I gave him tons of files. He knows or knew about MK Ultra. But he wanted to back away from me as quickly as he could. And the family did fall suit. So that's what happened to me, and that's why I have advised TIs not to tell their families until we get some more information, until we can get this out in the limelight, until we can expose it, and until we can bring down the people who are perpetrating it. So as far as public opinion goes, the people that know about it believe it. We have to get more people in the know. And this is a great place to do it. Targeted Justice has a Washington, D.C. gathering on September the 22nd through the 25th. This is another way to do it. Put it right in their face. And if we get 1,000 TIs in September, there will be no stopping us. And once we get beyond the 10% point in the populace, we will have everyone's ear. And the media will flock to us because they will fear the same thing for their own families. Okay, Marilyn, you got an opinion on that?
Yeah, I was just forced to choke. I got mind control to choke for punishment for talking about exposing this truth. I just tell my family, some of it, my mom's a TI too, and her sister just we couldn't get very far with her, and she flipped out. Because if it's true, that's horrible. If, if your family finds out it's true, it's like someone's got cancer or something,
Yes, my own children believe it, but they did not want to catch it, and that's the only thing that I could get out of it. But it's a tough thing to swallow. I mean, because you look the same, you act almost the same, but you're different somehow. And that's because their own instincts are picking up the other people that are attached to you. And I think that's reasonable to conclude because we have instincts that are still with us from the very beginning. And they may be turned on once again when your relatives see you or your friends see you. They may pick up something, and that's a possibility. But we have to keep on researching. We must keep on keeping on. Continue the gatherings. Continue the speeches. Continue the activities. Make them larger than life. We must take this to the very top. And we must find out exactly who the perpetrators are. And we must take action against them. The pen is more powerful than the sword, and it's always been my best friend. And I'm not afraid to write a really great letter, and I've written a bunch, but the next one that goes out to President Trump is going to be very detailed, and I intend to get a response. What's your take on that, Marilyn?
Letter writing is great. I've written letters to senators. I got 2 responses, handwritten, cursive. Then I attached flyers. You're very eloquent. So I look forward to. You could help me write some letters because you're very intelligent, and you have that legacy of the Kennedys. So you're very good speaker. I don't know if anybody, or you can listen to RBN. If you just let him go, Frank talk by himself, it's quite inspiring. I wanted to say that about the opinion. Cornell University, in December 2019, U.S. Public Opinion on Governance of Artificial Intelligence by Babu Zhang and Alan Defoe, I guess. Okay. I just thought of the actor. It threw me off. Artificial intelligence, AI, has widespread societal implications, yet social scientists are only beginning to study public attitudes toward the technology. Existing studies find that the public's trust in institutions can play a major role in shaping the regulation of emerging technology. And that is basically where I'm at. I look at it realistically, that it has to be policed at this point. It's gone. It is. I don't think there's any. I am kind of a fan of Elon Musk. He might be psychotic, but he's right. Bill Gates said the same thing. It's gone, and it's gonna, whatever it's gonna do, it's gonna do. So the people, the good people, the honest people, the people that follow the law and the Constitution, are going to have to figure out how to regulate remote neural monitoring, synthetic telepathy, access to your computers, your cell phones, satellite-based technology, artificial intelligence, the making of fake humans, tissue collecting from fetus. They're trying to build artificial people, clones. This is not science fiction, it's real. And having it, it's a computer with human parts, which is kind of like what a TI is. It's a study, and I think eventually TIs are going to be pushed. It's almost what I sense from my targeting, Frank. The stronger that I get in terms of staying alive and fighting it, the more I see. I'm now at purpose trying to talk for me. People are so cruel when they're gang stalking you that you got to be really careful about what you think. And not all humans are bad. But what targeting could do is mind control you to believe that the human race is bad. And that's not what we want to feed artificial intelligence.
Okay, we have a caller, Michael from New York. Would like to talk to you, Marilyn. Go ahead, Michael.
Hi, thank you. Long time, Frank.
Hey, how you doing?
And when I heard you talking about the programmer from India, it reminded me that, like, I work in the IT industry, or I used to. I've been trying to get away from the computer, but I've spoken with people in India and Romania just doing work, and they're somehow like aware of this already. Like, I'll ask them, have you heard of V2K? And they'll say yes. Or a man in Romania was telling me, like, there's just no way to beat this. You just have to learn how to be happy, or something. Like, he was like somehow accustomed to this.
Well, I think we lost Mike. I'm sure he'll call back in.
I want to say, just to keep that thought going about India, gang stalking in India it's really bad, and they have synthetic telepathy. These are people that are already struggling to live together, and it's a very large population of people that are desperate. So, I think he's right. There's a lot of Indian people in the IT community who are computer programs, and I do believe this person. I wish he'd call back, Michael. 10:48 right now.
I think that he will. I think that Michael will call back. I did not mean to interrupt you. We have to start using some radio rules here. 3-second pause, the other person picks up. But it's hard to do with the phone system because the phone system lags. I try to do it, but we'll figure it out. No problem.
Well, I wanted to say while we're waiting, if I may.
Go ahead.
I like to turn to my veterans because they're pretty much up on a lot of this technology and what's happening. Even the flying of airplanes and the maneuvering of submarines and battleships and carriers are being done by artificial intelligence. And in this process, they've become known to make some maneuvers and do some things that we never knew they were capable at all of doing. But a lot of the veterans feel the same way that I do about some of the things that are going on, their opinion. And my opinion counts for an awful lot. And we need to talk and check with these guys a little bit more than we do. And simply that, well, according to everything I've heard or known, someone always has had to shut down this AI to redo it, to restack it, to reload it. So therefore, someone always has their hand on the switch and on the drop cord to shut it down. And it's been shut down in the middle of a lot of things, reacted badly a few times, and even lashed out some of the robots with artificial intelligence did make some pretty strong comments along the way. But, well, the veterans do understand a little bit about what's going on in this world, and they have a lot more knowledge of these things these days than we do.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm sure Marilyn does as well. We should contact recently discharged veterans and sit down and talk with them. You know, I don't know how much debriefing goes on when you leave the service. I imagine there is some. And you are probably told not to talk about this and not to talk about that. But you know what? I think when the veterans get out of there, they're concerned with the people, I think, because they've seen too much.
They are,
of
Frank. They are. I was in touch with 10 of those very type of veterans last week, and was trying to encourage them to come along and tell some of the stories that they have already told to me. They're not scared to tell the stories. They've known this has been going on for quite a while, and some of them are 30-year guys and are willing to come and tell their stories of these technologies and stuff. But, well, they're not worried about their lives, and they're not worried about their families. They're worried about what will happen to the public once the public learns. But you see, we can't just get this type of people to come forward and tell these stories without at least giving them the floor and giving them the room and maybe even supporting them in whatever way we can.
Boy, doesn't that sound great. The veterans, in my opinion, when they get out of the service, they should get a new home, no taxes, no nothing. They should get a new car and anything else they want, because they've risked their life for at least a year. That's the average hitch, I think. So why are they kicked around so bad? I don't get it. We got Mike is back too.
Hi, Frank.
Hi. How you doing?
Long time. I missed the last thing you guys talked about, but I did hear about India, and I like what your guest has a lot of good things to say.
Oh, Richard's fantastic. And Marilyn is fantastic. We've got great people. And we do have to get in touch with veterans, because who would know what the military is using better than veterans? Richard brought this up, and actually Marilyn. And it's a good idea. Great idea.
Yeah, a lot of them they don't even want to, like, talk about something upsetting, because they carry something in them that's like they're in pain somewhere. And I think for us TIs, I agree, like, we can't. Sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger than to family. And like, you know, everyone's entitled to have their expression. So you have like this, 3-second window where you can just bring up, like, hey, did you know India already has a digital currency written into law on a biometric ID card? Or I'll often say at work, I'll say, did you know that 25,000 people starve to death every day? And then I'll ask them, guess who owns their land? And then I'll say, the people that own our media.
Yes. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Michael. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, those things are just, there's certain ways of bringing up targeting that are much more palatable, rather than bursting somebody's grand narrative bubble, and then they're just going to push you away. we have to show them, like, hey, look, there are experts and industry authorities that are concerned about the level of biometric data going over the computer.
Exactly. And I think that AI is actually, we went over it earlier, it's housed anywhere that it wants to be or anywhere that it needs to be. Because if it were housed in, we'll say, 10 acres of just mainframes, someone would bomb it. Someone would dive a plane into it, drop a 747 into it, you name it, because people don't like this. They like to be informed about what's going on. They don't like surprises. This is going to be the biggest surprise this nation has ever seen. And it's going to make this COVID virus look like a common cold that one person caught and got rid of. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, a digital just outbreak.
Yes, we have to be careful because AI moves very quickly. They have a drone out right now that is autonomous. Okay.
Yeah,
I have to say good night from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Thank you.
Hey, honey, I'm home. I grabbed a newspaper on the way home. Look at all the news today.
Don't you know that all you're going to get in the newspaper is propaganda, twisted news, and false information?
Honey, this is a national newspaper. It has to be true.
Ha! For some reason, the majority of the population believe anything the mainstream media tells them. The newspaper doesn't give out the important attention of what's happening to this country and news that affects our daily lives. Say, does that newspaper mention anything about the North American Union?
No, not that I can see.
I didn't think so. You need to go to www.newswithviews.com, where truth is more important than political correctness. That's www.newswithviews.com. Hey, don't throw that away. We can use that in the birdcage.
Okay, move over. Let me start reading newswithviews.com.
The truth? Read all about it at newswithviews.com. Newswithviews.com, where reality shatters illusion.
This is RBN, the Republic Broadcasting Network, 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 Broadcasting